Welcome back to the very last video of this series. So today I have got the tastings of all the scotches from Johnnie Walker right in front of you. I've got the red label, the 12-year-old double black, green label, gold reserve, 18-year-old swing, 21-year-old and blue label. So I will now go through all of them and let you guys know what I think is the best one. So, I hope you guys learned quite a bit about each scotch here, but now to let you guys know what I think of each one, I will go through them right now. So, now I'll try from the red label, which is over here. One thing to note is pouring these, that they are a very similar colour to one another. Minor shade differences, but the colour is pretty much the same, all a caramel amber colour. So again, this is sweet, smooth, bit of a savoury feel to it. Simple. And so the 12-year-old, definitely peated on the nose. Difference between the 12 and the red is definitely you get more of the peatiness, a little bit of char, but not too much. As you know, in the double black, which has more char, but however it's properly charred, not just the peat charry taste from the wood. Yeah, definitely full of char. So this is, not sure if you guys remember, that this is the one that I had that didn't have a lot of spices to it, so it wasn't really too sweet coming off the palate, but still great nonetheless. The green label, very smooth, full of flavour, great depth. Definitely would be a go-to for me if I had to choose from the first four because of the great depth. The double black, look, it's fine. I mean, it's not my favourite. Definitely needs a bit of a garnish. The 12-year-old, same thing. The red label, very much a cocktail mixer. So that's the first four. Now the gold reserve. So definitely a bit sweeter, so the dried fruits, sherry, peat, the orange, you definitely get the citrus, dried fruits coming through, and it's very noticeable on the palate. So more the sweeter one, so definitely between the gold reserve and the 18. This is more the sweeter one, so you get more of the caramel taste come through. So it's got a little bit of depth because it's got a longer finish because of the caramel taste, a little bit more buttery. Now to the swing. Kind of like the 18, but a little bit more silkier and a little bit of char. So, well, I should say a little bit of peat. So it's definitely an interesting one. Great whiskey because it's got quite a bit of depth, not a lot of texture. The one that I think has more texture, if you like a lot of texture, definitely it would be the Gold Reserve or the Green Label. Definitely got texture and depth, where this one's just got depth as it sits well on the palate. And so the 21-year-old got really nice grainy notes, so a bit of cereal, dried fruits, can taste a bit of rye, and then it's got really nice caramel notes, toffee, orange juice. So it's got quite a lot of diverse flavors, and it's not overpowering, so it's not a lot of punch in your face. So very lightly peated, very well crafted, this one. So far, before I get onto the blue label, standouts I've got to say for me, that likes a bit of texture and depth, have got to be these four here, for different reasons. So more savoury, then ironically it gets to like savoury, a little bit sweeter again, and sweeter again. So this one is kind of like a good half and half, the 21-year-old. And now the blue label. So again, going back to the blue label video, can taste a lot of root flavour, and can definitely understand the notes that's coming through very well off the finish. So that the notes aren't very pronounced. You get caramel, butter, again a little bit of aniseed root. Yeah, the finish has got a bit of orange, so this one, this one here, the blue label, I think has a lot of possibilities, but this one, again, is not one to be drunk fast. This one's definitely one to be drunk slowly and enjoyed. Not really too much to it, but the delicate, unique flavors, I think, make this one a really interesting experience because it's not very sweet. It's more on the savory side. This one here, so it's good like half and half. Bit of the earthy texture, the rye, and the sweetness, the caramel sweetness. This one here, quite sweet, silky with a bit of peat, so just gives it a bit of depth. This one here, again, kind of like the 21-year-old, but a little bit more caramel butter sweetness. This one here, so going with more of the peat with the underlying tone of the sweetness. The green label, going with the more earthy ocean tastes, like the sea salt, the chocolate, the rye, even though there's no rye, like it's more the, you get that texture, so I would more put that down to some root that's part of the flavour. So I'm putting it down to probably being a cocoa root. So you do get a lot of the chocolate notes coming through. And then these two, the black label and the double black, very similar to each other. The only difference really is the double black is more peated, so it's got char in the flavour because the casks were charred. And the 12-year-old, well, it's just a simple peated whiskey. And the red label, which is just sweet, little bit of peat, pepper, nothing really too interesting. So my favourite all along, I would have to go is the 21-year-old, because it's got that nice delicate flavour, the peat, the earthiness, the sweetness, so it's got a lot of depth and it's got a lot of texture. I like that experience because I'm not a very fast drinker of whiskey. I prefer just to drink it and be like, this is a delicious one, so I'm going to save this. So I much prefer to go for something that has a bit of texture. The blue label, I mean, like, It's great because it's very smooth. So, but I mean, there's nothing really popping out about this one. I think that the swing, very nice, very sweet. So that's obviously my third choice. Then after that, the fourth choice, great value for money, is the Johnnie Walker Green Label. Because of its depth, its texture, the amount of flavors. But that's not to write off the 18 and the Gold Reserve, because they're both very, very well done. There's just different flavor profiles in each of these, and I think they are magnificent to the right person. This one has more earthy textures, the dried fruit, the banana, the more root flavors that you get from different things. So like you can taste a little bit of cinnamon. The Gold Reserve, more peat, so it's your sweet scotch but with a lot more peat. So the 18 is definitely a step down, I would consider that. So just to recap, so first, I like this one first, the 21-year-old, second, the Blue Label, swing third, fourth, the Green Label, fifth, the Gold Reserve, and sixth, the 18-year-old. And these three, I think, great, but they're just very simple drinks that if you want something easy to drink, I would go and cheap, I would go the 12-year-old. Not too heavy, but not too weak as well. The Double Black, I think, is definitely a mixer, I should say. Where the Red Label, look, it's easy, it's nice, and there's not too much involved in this. So you can do a lot with this. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope you found this informative. If you liked it, please like, share, subscribe. And if you feel that this whole series has been informative at all, please consider donating to my PayPal or pledging to my Patreon, as that would really help me grow and do more for you guys and get better informed. If you don't feel like donating, that's fine. Just the share would definitely help me in the YouTube algorithm and get more views. Tag your friends, do all that, as I'm sure that they would find this as interesting as I did making this for you guys. Anyway guys, I will see you in the next series.